Hi all, welcome to another video tutorial of Easy Way to Automation. So in our last video we saw how can we fetch data from a JSON file and how can we create request payload. So today we are going to see how can we generate random data using data faker library in Karate framework. So we have one Java library that is called as data faker. Using data faker we can create generate data such as we can generate random number, random first name, random last name, random full name, and random job title. So these are few examples. So let me quickly jump to Google and I can search for data faker library. Okay, so or you can just write data faker. So this is the GitHub website. So before we copy the dependency and put it in our pom.xml file, I want to show you something. So this is the GitHub website of DataFaker. So if you go down, so they have provided one useful information. So basically the DataFaker, right? So they have upgraded it to, so basically before it was called Java Faker. So now if you see they have written here, this library is a modern fork of Java Faker with up to date libraries and several new added fake generators. And they are saying like if you want to use data faker 2.x, because if you go to Maven dependency, if you see the latest version is 2.1.0, right? So they are saying here like if you want to use data faker 2.x, then you should have Java 17 installed on your system. That is the minimum requirement. You should have Java 17 installed on your system. In case if you do not have Java 17 installed on your system, you can go for Datafaker 1.x. Okay, so you can use Datafaker 1.x or else you can use Java Faker. Okay, so basically they are saying Datafaker 1.x is built on Java 8, but this version is no longer maintained. So they are not maintaining that particular version. So they are recommending all users to upgrade to Datafaker 2.x. Right? So if you have Java 16 or Java 80, Java 8, right? So you can go for Datafaker 1.x. Okay, like you can use 1.9.0. But I have Java 17 installed on my system, so I can take this dependency. I can use Datafaker 2.x. So let's take this and I'll go to pom.xml file. So this is my pom.xml file and I'll paste it here. Okay, then I'll refresh it so that it will download the jars. It is going to take some time to resolve the dependencies and it will add the related jars. Okay, so within this time, let's go to the fake API website. Okay, so basically if you see here, actually I have one web service that is called as create booking, and here it is an example of post method, right? So this is the URL, and if you see, if I want to create a booking, all I have to do is I have to provide all these details in my request payload, such as first name, last name, total price, deposit paid. Okay, it takes boolean value, either true or false, and I have something called as booking dates. Okay, then we have check-in date, checkout date, and additional needs. Okay, so I'm gonna take this example. So what I can do here is I'll just create one feature file, go to new karate file, and I'll just write here create booking. Okay, so feature name will be create booking, and my scenario will be, so this will be our test scenario to create booking with the help of data faker library, Java library. Okay, so this is my scenario. So all I have to do is I just have to provide here, we know given URL. So this is my URL, right? Base URL. After that I can write and path booking, the rest of the URL, right? Booking. So this is our path. Then I'll create one variable request payload. Okay, and the request payload I am going to read it from a JSON file. So for that what I can do here is I'll quickly create one JSON file and I'll name it as create booking. So I'll just write here create booking.json. Okay, and I will copy these details from here and I'll paste it over here. Okay, and we know like how to fetch the request payload from a JSON file, right? So I have to use read method. Okay, so my JSON file is present under test data, whereas my feature file is present under features, right? So I have to go back to the parent folder. Okay, so what I have to do here is I just have to use dot dot slash. Okay, that means now I am here com.karate. After that I have to go to test data where my create booking.json file is located. So I'll just write here test data, then I have to write create booking dot json, right? It has to be request payload. So if you see here I have first name, last name, total price. Okay, so I have to generate this data, okay, randomly. Okay, so I don't want to use the same data again and again. So every time I run the script I want different data to be generated, such as first name, last name, total price, and the check-in checkout date, right? For that I will create a class file. Okay, so here I will create one package and I will name it as utility. Okay, com.karate.utility, and under this I am going to create a class. I'll name it as a test utility. Okay, so here I will be creating different methods. So for that, what I have to do is I have to create one object, okay, of data faker. So I'll just write here data faker. Data faker is equal to new data faker. So I have to import this class. It has to be faker. I have to import the class. So what I have done is I have created one reference variable of faker class, and I am assigning faker class object to it. So I just have to import this class. Then I'll create one method like public. Okay, I'll make it as static. So I'll just write here public static void, or simply write public void get random number. Okay, and here I'll provide the length actually. Okay, how many digits I want, and it is going to return me faker dot number. Okay, dot random number. So I'll just write here faker dot number dot digits. Okay, and here I have to give the length. Okay, so the return type will be int. Okay, but it is going to return one string. So how can I convert, like integer to string? So I have to write, sorry, string to integer. So I'll just write here integer dot value of. Okay, and I'll just write faker dot number dot digits, and I have to provide the length. Similarly, if I want first name, last name, so I can write it like that. So I'll just write here public string get first name. So it is going to return faker dot name dot first name. Similarly, I'll create one more method for last name. So I'll just write here get last name, and here it has to give last name. Okay, so what else do we require? So first name, last name, and random number we have written. For example, now the date. Okay, so for creating date also I can write something like this. Public void public void string get date. So here I can provide the date format as a parameter. So it is going to return me. So just write here return new simple date format. And here I have to pass the date format, and I have to format current system date. That is something I can get it from new date. That is the object of date class. Okay. Get formatted date. Okay. So what else we can create? Suppose I want a job title. Okay, random job title. So I'll just write here public string get job title, for example. Okay. So I'll just write here return faker dot job dot title. Okay. So I have created like different methods. Okay. So how can I implement, or like how can we import this class in our feature file? Okay. How can I import this particular Java class in my feature file? Okay. So for that, what I have to do is I have to create a variable. So I'll just write here, and using def keyword I can create a variable. So I'll just write here data faker. Then I have to write here java dot type. Okay. And here I have to provide in which package this class is present. So I have to provide the way actually we are importing, right? So for example, if I go to this test utility.java, okay. So I have imported this faker class. So how did I import? So I imported using package name dot class name, right? In the same way, I have to import this test utility class, okay, which is present inside com.karate.utility package. Okay, I'll go to create booking.feature and okay, and I'll paste it over here, and after this I have to write test utility. Okay, then we know like I have to, okay, set the request payload, right? In our last video we saw how to do that. So I'll just write here set request payload request payload dot first name. Okay, so first name is equal to, so I have to use this variable, okay, data faker. So I'll just write your data faker. Then I have to provide this class name, that is get first name. Okay, that's it. Similarly, I can write request payload last name is equal to data faker dot get last name. Okay, then what else I need to update? I have in the request payload we have something called as total price, right? total price. Go here, dot total price dot faker data faker dot get. What is the method name? Method name is get random number, and here I have to provide the length. So I can provide 3. Okay. Then I have to generate check-in and check-out date. So I'll just write here request payload. Okay. Then I have something called as booking dates. Booking dates dot check-in is equal to data faker get formatted date. Make sure you are writing the method names correctly, or else it will throw error during runtime. And here I have to create a random date, right? So for checkout also, and we have to follow the hierarchy. So for example, request payload, after that we have booking dates, and so this is also one, if you see like JSON, right, booking dates. So here we have check-in and check-out. So we have to write in that hierarchical order. Okay. So here I have written request payload dot booking dates dot check-in, request payload dot booking dates dot checkout. Okay. So after that I'll print it first. Okay. What request payload we are getting. Okay. So we will run this up to first. Okay, up to this. So we will run up to line number 16 first, just to check whether we are able to generate our request payload successfully or not with random data. Okay. So what I will do, I will just go to JUnit runner test, and here all I have to do is I just have to change the feature file name. So I'll just write here create booking. Okay. So let me just run it and check. So first it will fetch the data from the JSON file, then it will set the data. Okay, that means it will update the data. It is now executing our scenario. It got failed. Let's check it. Get first name. Okay, so I have to make it static so that using class name we can call all these methods. So let me put it static over here. Let me run it once again. Okay, here our step failed actually. Let's check what is the issue. Okay, so basically why this failed, because if you see get formatted date, right? If I go to get formatted date, so I am not skipping anything. I am also debugging with you so that you will get to know, like in case your script fails, how you can debug. So if you see get formatted date, it is expecting one parameter, right? So I have to pass one argument over here. So if I go to the JSON file, okay? So I want date to be generated in this format, okay? That is YYYY hyphen MM hyphen DD. So that is something I need to mention over here. So I'll go to create booking dot feature. So here I'll just write here YYYY MM DD. Same thing I have to provide here. Let me run it one more time. So I am just generating the request payload. I am not sending the request. Okay. So the scenario passed. Let me refresh it. And if I click here, see, it has created data for us. Okay. So it has created first name, last name, total price, and check-in, check-out date. That is something called as our current system date. Okay. So now I am able to generate data successfully. So now what I can do here is I will add some further steps. So what I can write here is, then I'll just write here and request. I can pass this request payload, right? When method post, then status 200, right? If you see what status we're expecting here, if I go to the Faker API website, so if I go down, it says, okay, the success response code is 200, okay, and it generates all these response, booking ID, booking, okay, it creates one booking ID for you. So that is also we can something check actually. That is something we can check. Okay, and here it is accepting the request in the form of application slash JSON, right? The request payload, the content type, it is accepting in the form of JSON. Okay, so what we can do here is we have to mention here and header accept is equal to application slash JSON. Okay, and as we saw, actually once we get the response, right, it generates one booking ID. So that is something also I can match and match response dot booking ID. Okay, so it generates one booking ID if you see. Okay, so it's a number. Okay, so it generates a random number. So here I have to do fuzzy matching. That means I can only check like whether it is creating a booking ID, and I can check its data type. So I'll just write here number. Okay, equal to number. This is booking ID. Okay, so first we are generating the request payload. Okay, then we are using this post method, and we are checking, or say we can yeah, I mean, we have put one assertion, right, where actually we are checking the response status code, and we are also checking whether it is generating booking ID in the response in the form of numeric format. Okay, so it has to create a booking ID, and that should be a number. So let's run it. It is executing our test scenario. Okay, it failed somewhere. Let's see where it failed. Match response dot booking ID is equal to number. Okay, the assertion fails. I think there is a spelling mistake, I guess. If I go to Faker API website, okay, booking ID, okay, I has to be small actually. So you have to make sure like the spelling is correct, and you have to check whether you have uh, write the letters in correct case or not, because I think it is case sensitive. Okay, so here actually I did one mistake. Here I had to write small I, whereas I wrote capital I. Okay, so let me run it once again. So this time if you see our scenario passed, let me open the HTML report once again. Let me expand it. Okay, so if you see, if I go to method post, you can see here actually we have sent this request payload. Okay, and we have got status code 200, and this is our response body. Okay, it has created one booking ID, which is a numeric value. Okay, I'll show you one more thing. So if you do not give header over here, right? So I'm just commenting it out. Okay, let me run it once again. What if I do not give header except is equal to application JSON? Okay, so if you see here, our test scenario failed. Okay, so we were expecting 200 status code, whereas we got 418. Okay, and we are getting this I am a teapot. Okay, why we are getting this? Because whenever we are sending any request, right? So if we are using Postman, then Postman has its ability, like what it will do, like it will check what kind of request you are sending. That means it is checking its format, whether it is in JSON format or text format or XML format, and by default it will set header except to that particular format. Okay, it has that ability. if you're using Postman. But in karate framework you have to explicitly mention it, even if actually you are setting the content type, right? So if I go here, so this is a dummy website actually, so they have not designed this web service properly. So what happens, like it is expecting the request payload in JSON format, right? The content type has to be application/JSON. So even if you set it up in karate framework, you have to explicitly mention this, okay, that it has to accept this request payload in the form of application/JSON. Okay, so if you mention this explicitly, then run it, then you will not get that error. Okay, so this time our scenario will pass, which we have already seen previously. Yes, our scenario passed. So I hope you found this video useful, and we got to know like how can we generate random data with the help of data faker library. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also click the bell icon and select all, so that like whenever I will upload a new video, you will get notified. Thank you for watching.